Hello, everybody. Thank you, as always, for watching Late Night America. It is Thursday, the 25th day of August, and it is 11:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, thanks for watching. This episode is going to be, it's rather loosely constructed. It's going to be asking some questions. The first question being, what is a patriot? What's it mean to be a patriot? Now, on the surface, it might seem like that's a relatively easy question to answer. And for some people, it is an easy question to answer. They simply say, me, meaning themselves. But the definition of what a patriot is, the definition of what it means to be patriotic is different for probably all of us. We probably all have a unique perspective deep down inside of what it means to be a patriot, what it means to be patriotic. We're going to kind of explore these things tonight. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to ask some questions. It's how we do things. Those that watch the show on a regular basis, it's how we do things. We give you things to think about and don't tell you what to think or how to think. We just ask that you think. And we talk about that a lot, that if you're not thinking, if you're not processing information for yourself and making your own determinations, then chances are probably pretty good somebody else is. And if you're only looking one direction and you're only seeing one thing, you're only going to be thinking one thing. And if that thing's wrong, then you're wrong. That's the whole purpose of what we do here, is just ask people to think. Now, this is going to be about the 1776 phenomenon and about those that oppose them. And the plan was that it was going to be a quiet night, and had a lot of people that were going to hop on here and talk about a little bit of everything. And it's not a quiet night, to say the least. Actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to restream her by any stretch of the imagination, but let's see if she is still live. Lori Arnold is live outside of Bunker Hill, West Virginia, where the 1776 group been headquartered for quite some time now. As those of you that watch the show, we touch on it. We don't, it's, we're not a 1776 channel, but there are 1776 channels, absolutely, for sure. And we focused a lot on this when they were on the mall, dark and we can't see what's going on. But the title, When the Right Attacks Patriots. And again, I show that because a lot of activity is happening. Lori might have gotten shot by a slingshot, possibly, or someone threw a rock. Something happens. You got hit in the face when she was doing a live broadcast. And so a lot of activity going on around that at the moment to figure out what's going on and who's responsible. Anyway, but that's okay. That, that the people that we're going to try to pop on here are not going to be able to pop on here. It's perfectly fine. If and I'm going to get into the chat in a little bit. I'm not there at the moment, but thank you all for watching. Those of you that are, I'm going to get in the chat in a minute, and if somebody wants to come on and talk about what it means to them to be a patriot, or wants to talk about, and if it's got to be people I know. Okay, it's if you anyway. Um, and if not, I've got plenty of stuff to talk about. Those of you that watch the show know me. Okay. And also, I got a little something that I've done once before, a long time back. I did the last episode, the last live we did Tuesday night. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We talk about the White Panther Party, and it is, and a couple other things. Check it out; it's worth it. You'll learn things. You don't have to sit down and watch it. You can listen to it and learn things. Sitting down and watching it's cool because some of the video is historic, legendary. Anyway, and after that, and at the end of that, I talked a little bit about, and I got a couple of emails about what have you ever really done. You talk about how you care about people, you want to advance things, you blah 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 blah. What have you ever really done? Well, I'm going to show you in sometime coming up here, probably very soon. I'll probably just start out with it and get it out of the way here. So before we get going, let me hop over into chat and say hi to Harlem Hellfighters. Hello, Sissy. Thank you for being here. Hey, Paw Patrol. How are you? Hello, Olivia. Dean Wall, good evening. Thank you all for being here. We are all patriots. Totally agree. I was talking earlier this evening with Paw Patrol and with a couple of other really smart people, and we it is it's one of the things I've got written down here. Is the term patriot watered down? Is it diluted because of the just hijacking of the word for a certain I wouldn't say class, I wouldn't say state, a certain, just say group of people that have claimed that they are patriots and no one else is. That's one of the things we're going to talk about on here, because if that's the case, that's dangerous, and I think it's the case. But that's just my opinion, and it's doesn't mean that's what you think. But it's something that needs to be talked about and isn't. And if we are really going to ever come close to just beginning to heal divides that are in this, and it's divides plural. It's not like it's one, there's not one thing. Okay, the divides. And that's what makes me a patriot in my mind, is that I see the potential of what this country could be. I see the differences, the things that make us unique, the things that are looked at as anomalies or as less thans, the things that actually unite us all. I see the potential of what this country could be and what its people could make it. And it's hard to see that and have absolutely no way of trying to make it happen other than being on here. So I'm so blessed and grateful to have this. Um, yeah, it's at the very bottom of the internet, very bottom of YouTube. You find this channel either because somebody has shown you a link or you search for it, or you are a subscriber, because it doesn't it doesn't get put into rotation. And that's okay. It really is. It really is okay, because down here at the bottom we can literally talk about the truth, because it's not about money. It's not about making sure I've got 300,000 viewers. I got to say what the people want to hear. No, no, no. And I guess that's probably what's wrong with me, is it's never really been about the money. At least that's what the ex-wives always thought was wrong with me. So again, what is a patriot? And Lori Arnold's video, that um, her live stream that we just touched on for a few seconds, and thank you, Lori. Again, we weren't ripping your stream off. We're not grifting off of your stream. We're not restreaming you or anything. And if we did that, it would be simply to get more eyes on what you're doing. I've got it up still. If Lori gets in trouble, we will cut to the live stream so that more people are seeing what's actually happening, because that's been the history of this channel, is getting eyes on who's doing what. And back in the day, was making sure the police were treating people that protesting in a humane manner. Anyway, that's then, this is now. And some questions I've received through email that I want to get out there. Isn't the Patriot movement honestly really all about Trump lying about losing an election? A lot of people think that, and for a lot of people, I'd say yes, it is. That's all it's about. Not all of them. Now, this brings up a point that I touch on here a lot. Monolithic thinking, the idea that your statements, and we hear it all the time. We're probably all guilty of it. We all love you. Well, chances are no, not everybody around you loves whoever you're yelling at. Maybe so, but you don't speak for everybody. You don't say everybody here loves you, because there's going to be somebody that's like, no, really, I don't. I mean, I don't hate them. I don't detest them, but I don't. So that's just it's just a tiny little thing. Monolithic thinking on a major big scale. All black people are this. All white people are this. All poor people are this. All cops are this. And that one, all cops, that's one of those that has become either ACAB, all cops are bad, or thin blue line, no matter what. And we're seeing in this 1776 phenomenon, because that's what it really is. It's a phenomenon. It's like Tiger King or something, on the internet. It's caught a whole lot of people, and it's like this amoeba that's like growing and mutating, but it's a microcosm of what's going on in society. And so it deserves the eyes it's getting. And if it isn't indeed an illegal operation of any way, shape, or form, there are a lot of people investigating it and looking at it. Um, to be honest with you, so many that, you know, you'd have to think some of the stuff that has been found is probably going to end up being true. And that brings up another thing. There's like this whole network that goes on behind the scenes of what people see when they watch content that is 1776 derivatives, and it's there's this all of this stuff going on and moving around, and it's it's interactive entertainment. Basically, it's like if you go into a chat and there aren't many people there, you could talk to the person on the screen, and it's here too. I mean, you know, hello, watching people. Guy, hey Gary, watching people fail or win. It's. I mean, that's not why they're here. All right, but it plays into what this thing has morphed into, because all this really was it was a convoy. After this all started, Canada did this trucker thing that drew the attention of the world. Okay, maybe it didn't draw yours, but it probably was on your radar anyway. It drew the attention of people, the and especially those that support working class, because it was like, hey, somebody's standing up. Let's at least look and pay attention. And of course, a lot of people went to jail. People got sued. People's bank accounts got, you know, you mess with the government, and and Canada's government didn't play, and I'm pretty sure the United States government, once all this pans out, we will learn that they don't play. But anyway, that's how all this started, and somebody, and I'll get corrected because I was supposed to have somebody on here talking about all this that's followed it from the start, but somebody went around for about a week saying, that convoy thing up there in Canada, man, that's a good idea. We should be doing something like that here. We should, and he got people within a week. He got people going, yeah, let's do this. Let's put this together. And then evidently that guy looked ahead and went, man, this could end really bad, just like Canada's getting ready to end really bad. I'm not going to be a part of this. And he got out after hyping everybody up. So they go across the country and people are on bridges and waving flags, and to them, that's being a patriot. Waving at at the truckers, that's being a patriot. And I do not disrespect them for doing that. I'm not here to make fun of them for doing that. We're here to look at things in the middle as much as we can and just point things out. And from my perspective, I believe that those people that were on those overpasses waving those flags were being patriotic in their way, and that's what America's about. That's really what America's about, is letting people do things their way. Now the problem is there are some people that want to do things their way but don't want anybody else to be able to do anything else their way. They want everybody to look, think, dress, talk, sound exactly like them, and think in a tunnel. And they're programming people to do that, I believe, through artificial intelligence and QAnon, but that's a totally different episode. But those people on that bridge, on those bridges and in the fields and wherever they were expressing patriotism. The key is you got to we all all of us, no matter what side we're on or where we're at, how many times we've circled the sun, what pigment our skin is. All of us, if we just went, I'm going to do my thing, I'm not going to mess with nobody else. If all of us took that attitude, all of us, what a wonderful world it would be. However, the problem arises when my freedom is only going to be something I accomplish in my eyes by oppressing somebody else. And we in America have a long and illustrious history of that. I heard Lori Arnold say something tonight, and I want to bring it up. She said, I used to drive with flags all over my truck. Now I see that, and I'm scared and think, oh shit, are they going to get me? Who's on whose side? There's a problem. There's this great thing about I'm a patriot. There's this underlying sense that maybe people that are calling themselves patriots don't have the best of everyone's intentions. It's just something to think about. I'm not saying it's happened. I'm not saying it hasn't. I'm saying we toss things out to give you things to think about. So is it watered down? Is the term patriot watered down? Because of monolithic thinking. This group that we all are very familiar with. I was going to, I thought, okay, I'll do this episode and I'll put on an American flag bandana and dress up and say, look, I'm a patriot. You can tell by looking at me, and then gradually undo it. And it's not an eye test, but it's become one for a lot of people. You see somebody, just like Lori said, I see somebody now, she said, I see somebody now. And I think, oh my gosh, are they going to come after me like 1776 is coming after me? And that muddies the water an awful lot when it comes to, what is a patriot? So if we could all just get away from the monolithic thinking, the idea that every, how asinine is it? And maybe some of the viewers, I don't know, maybe you don't know this, but not every Black person is great at sports. It's true. It's true. It may be a secret. And I'm joking, of course, I'm kidding. To make a point. The point is 75% of white America does not have a conversation with anyone outside the white community. 75% of white America does not have a conversation with someone outside of the white community. That means 75% of the white community, instead of basing their feelings, their reactions, their judgments, their emotions, their thoughts, their political leanings on having interactions with people of different communities, they base it upon perceptions and fear and ignorance. And it's not Democrat, Republican, it's white community. Just something to think about. Monolithic thinking. If we put it in our heads to resist it, It changes our perspective of how we look at things, especially people. All cops are bad. Thin blue line. Neither one of them is true. A lot of bad cops. You know, if you watch this show, you know we've shown it, and we show it because it happens. And we show when cops do something good on those occasions. But they're not all bad. Awful lot of them are. And again, that's for a different episode. And the thin blue line thing, we're seeing more and more here. Cops are great until they enforce something against you if you're a white person. And I'm being monolithic after saying not to, but you know what I'm saying. We're seeing that now. A lot of us understand that, you know, hey, cops aren't necessarily always honest or kind and gentle and non-judgmental and blah 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 blah. A lot of white people already know that. A lot of white people don't, and we're watching some learn here on the 1776 thing. Hello to Casey, Young City. How are you, Pat Tolliver? This is kind of cool. There's some new people in the chat. Some of these people are from Behind the Mirror, BTM. Just go to YouTube, Behind the Mirror, and you'll see the site. It's basically a chat board that runs, and with some incredibly creative content on the screen every once in a while, and it is one of those places that's not an echo chamber. It's one of those places where people communicate with different people. And if you don't have any place like that other than here, there's a new place. Go check it out. It's not going to be for everybody, but go check it out. Behind the Mirror, BTM. It's on YouTube. YouTube channel, Behind the Mirror. And you need to catch it when it's live, so when the chat's going, because there's an incredibly wide variety of people in there. And it's definitely there are 1776 talk happens in there, but it's not 1776 centric either. So Behind the Mirror. But it's kind of great that some of my regulars are in here, and some of my BTM friends are in here. Feel free to talk amongst each other, because I get going and I don't get back over into chat. So so there's that. All right. Now I've talked for about a half an hour and haven't even started the show. So those of you that are watching and wondered, what have I done as far as, let's say, what have I done as far as activism? And let me make sure this is queued up. It is. All right. All right. This is like, I don't know. This was from 2006. This was from another life, if you will. But let's take a quick listen.
Thank you all very much. My name's Barry Welsh. I'm from Spiceland, Indiana originally. My dad worked at the Chrysler plant in Newcastle. My sister works at the Vistion plant on English Avenue in Indianapolis, local 1111. I am a proud member of a working family. I'm going to Washington, D.C. to be your voice. I'm going to Washington, D.C. to represent you because I am one of you. Like you, I know what it's like to struggle. Like you, I know what it's like to have hard times. like you, I know what it's like to have to work for a living. We need representation, ladies and gentlemen, in Washington, D.C. We as the middle class, we as the workers of America need representation in Washington, D.C. The question you need to ask yourself is, who will check George W. Bush? Will Mike Pence stand up and check George W. Bush? Or am I tough enough to stand up and check George W. Bush? That's what you need to ask yourselves. Let me tell you something. For the past 18 months, I've been running around the 6th District of Indiana shouting, I have had enough. Because I've had enough. I've had enough of illegal immigration. I've had enough of jobs being outsourced. I've had enough of union busting. I've had enough of high gas prices. I've had enough of the war on the middle class. If you've had enough, let me hear you say, enough! Ladies and gentlemen, NAFTA, CAFTA, how much more of the shafta is the American worker going to have to take until we say enough? It's time to say enough. My name's Barry Welsh. I'm running against Mike Pence. I need your endorsement. I need your financial support. And more importantly, I need your vote on November 7th. God bless each and every one of you, and may God have mercy on the United States of America.
So that's what I did. One of the things I did, I destroyed my entire life and gave up everything to try to defeat Mike Pence running for Congress back in 2006. And we scared the crap out of it. It was a different time. I was doing a labor speech, obviously, and Congressman Barron Hill and Senator Evan Bayh spoke after me, and in the elevator on the way back up to the hospitality area there, Barron said, "I'm never going to speak on the stage with you again," and he never did. So there you go. Those that wondered, I ran against Mike Pence, and he had $1.5 million, and I had just under 50,000. And we scared the crap out of him. We got beat by 11,000 votes out of almost 300,000, and we dang near made a difference. The campaign was called People Before Profits. And I didn't have any support from the National Democratic Party. As Barron said, you know, that's what you just did. That's not how we do things. This is 2006, and you know, still it's not how Democrats do things. But I wasn't a Democrat. I was Bernie Sanders before Bernie Sanders, actually, while Bernie was a congressman in the Northeast. I just didn't know it. Anyway, so does that make me a patriot? That's why I showed it, basically, to ask, is it patriotic to stand up and talk against your government? Stand up and say George Bush needs to be checked. We don't need to be going into Iraq. It was a labor deal, and at that time, a lot of Republican businesses were bringing illegal immigrants into southern Indiana and employing them in factories, and for literally dollars a day. And so that's what the that's what that speech was about. How months and not the shaft. Yeah, hey, that that caught on. NAFTA, CAFTA. How much more of the shaft is the American worker going to have to take until we say enough? Oh, you should do it again. Smash the system. I'm in the Library of Congress. And this is for real. I had the first virtual campaign headquarters in a federal election. I had the first candidate blog in the federal election. We ran the whole thing off the internet. We had a website, and it was our virtual campaign headquarters. Everything came in through there. Everything went out through there. The buttons, the stickers, the everything. And I got put into the Library of Congress and the National Archives for innovation in election in campaigning, whatever it was, election. It was innovation in electronic electioneering. I think's the actual freaking government title. Anyway, so does that make me patriotic? Does that give me some, because I did that, because I fell on the sword and sacrificed everything and have absolutely nothing now, but I'm cool with it? Does that make me a patriot? Yeah. In my eyes, it does, but it doesn't mean it does in your eyes. And we're not ever going to be able to do it. As optimistic as I am, and I'm one of the most optimistic people that I know, I know we're not ever going to be able to do it to get people to just go, whoa, wait a minute, okay, why do I really care what somebody's doing with their body? Why do I really care what somebody's doing for their job? Why do I really care how long somebody's hair is? Why do I really care? Whatever. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just humanoids. Too often, we think we have to decide how other people behave. And there are times it has to, for society to function. There are norms, I'm just talking about, how do we get rid of the hate? Phew. How do we get rid of the hate? That's going to be a whole nother episode. There are some people that think you can only be patriotic if you've been in the military, and yet don't think that they don't think that the black man that did two tours of duty in Vietnam is patriotic, because the way the country has treated him hasn't made him love the country the way they love the country, because they listen to country music and they get the freedom to drink beer and get half naked on a Saturday night by a bonfire. And God bless them for doing it. I'm not judging them or putting them down for doing it. I'm just saying that you look silly screaming for freedom when you got all the freedom. You got more freedom than 98% of the world. You ought to be thinking unity. You ought to be thinking, how do we move? If the government is corrupt in your eyes, if the government is controlled in your eyes, as it is in many eyes in many different political spectrums, I got news for y'all, MAGA. You're not the only ones that think the government may not be operating at its optimum efficiency, to say the least. But a lot of you, at least the perception is, a lot of you want to just kill everybody that ain't like you. That's a simplistic, but it is a perception. And if you're one of those watching that feels this way, let's talk. Let's talk. Hello, Lisa Hurley. My gosh. Yeah, there are people that hate the country. I'm sure there are. Um, but it's a right. You know, there are people that burn the American flag. Some of us, it's the way we're groomed. We see American flag burn, and it's like cringe. But people have the right to do that. And that's what makes America the greatest country in the world, is that people have the right to do crap that other people hate, as long as it isn't hurting somebody else. And instead of embracing that simple concept that freedom is based upon, you can do just about anything you want in the United States, just about. We got social norms, and you can do just about anything within social norm, including getting shit-faced drunk. And people will applaud you for it. You can say, I hate America. You have the freedom to do that. In Russia, you can't say, and Joy's in here. Hi, Joy. Joy pointed this out earlier. You can say, I hate America, and you have the freedom to do that. And nothing should happen to you. Now, you use a little common sense. There may be some places that you find yourself in where you don't necessarily want to scream, I hate America. It might lead to a severe whooping. And that's just, that's on you. But you have the freedom to do it. In Russia, you can't say the word war. You go to jail in Russia for protesting with a blank sign. Okay. And here I go. I said, damn it. There are words that you can't say on YouTube. You can't say Russia. You can't say Ukraine. You can't say COVID. You can't say vaccinations. They don't like you to say war. However, while I'm mentioning it, the episode we did this afternoon, the 10-minute episode this afternoon, mentioned, you might want to go and watch it, because it kind of mentions, those of us that are old enough remember how Vietnam started. Vietnam started with advisors. Advisors are going to tell these people how to fight, and then pretty soon the advisors are getting picked off, and we got to send some people in to make sure the advice, and before you know it, well, in Syria, a similar thing may be happening. Maybe go check that last episode from earlier today if you're so inclined. And I don't know if I should show this or not. I'm going to show it. This comes from, I'm going to check it. Okay. It seems that Lori is off. We're talking about patriots, what it means to be a patriot. And I show this on the show on occasion. This is Ulysses S. Grant. If we are to have another contest in the near future of our national existence, I predict that the dividing line will not be Mason and Dixon's, between patriotism and intelligence on one side, and superstition, ambition, and ignorance on the other. Okay, now we can't show that without also showing the other thing that we always reference on this show, and that is how things can happen. How did the Nazis take over Germany? If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will. It is vitally important for the state to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus the greatest enemy of the state. Now, this is from Joseph Goebbels, the Reich Minister for Public Enlightenment Propaganda in Nazi Germany. That's how you take over people's heads. That's how you get people thinking in a monolithic way. We can see it in what was done. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. And we have seen that for many people, a big lie will never go away. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. How often do we see that? Propaganda. And again, you got to repress the truth. The truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. So you can see how those four things worked. You can see how they're working here. You can see how they work in the 1776 movement. It is vitally important for Santa to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. You know, and the truth is, we're not really going down there to spread religion, and we're really not going down there to, okay, they're down there for something. They were, and they're still around, and they're still doing this. And it's not about freedom, because all they got to do is walk out the gate. As always, just a little something to think about. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I wasn't going to, but this is from Defender of Ants last night. And I'm going to save this, and I'm going to do it as a separate episode, because it's troubling. It's really troubling. How many people are here? Okay. Yeah, excellent point, Al Munson. I think people mistake people that want change as hating America a lot of times. Some people just want America to be what it claims to be. Incredibly well said. Exactly right. Old astronomer, how are you doing? Yes, the Mason-Dixon line runs north of the Ohio River from Iowa all the way to Maryland and Pennsylvania. And at one time, it was supposed to stretch all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And the concept was that the Confederate States were going to bring California, Southern California, in as and create plantations out there because of the climate. And then the northern part of California, San Francisco, that part would be northern. But that compromise was never reached in the government. I'll play it just because it's an example of example of monolithic thinking, and it's an example of what I think many of the MAGA movement people are about. And this guy just happens to say the quiet parts out loud.
They're used to dealing with children. They're, right. They're submissive. They're scared. They're used to deal with people who don't say no back to them. They're used to deal with people who can't do it.
Okay, I'm not going to keep stopping this and interrupting. I just want to say, this is on the Defender of Ants channel. What you hear is not necessarily the opinion of the Defender of Ants. That's up for him to say. It is not the opinion of this channel, or necessarily this channel, this host, this there's not going to be any advertisers, but advertisers now or in the future. This is one man's opinion that, again, he said the quiet parts out loud. And people need to be able to know that there are people that think like this. And I'm not judging him for it. He's got the right to think like this. It's just that a lot of people put their head into the sand and think no one really thinks as this person is thinking.
Anything back to him, which is pedophilia and rape, which I would not tolerate. I won't have it around my home. But I guess you're a badass when it comes to a kid. Not fucking happening.
They said Mag Americas is watching this. He's one of the streamers over there. He said
not fucking happening.
His followers think you're leading the neighbors astray, and one even suggested you pay these guys. Did I pay you?
So they want me.
No, they think I paid you to help.
No, that's the point. We don't want fucking.
I don't want your fucking money, dude. Are you here? Are you streaming what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want your fucking money.
MAGA America.
We don't want
We don't want you in MAGA. As simple as that.
I don't want you in MAGA.
You're using this whole we the people in MAGA as a cover up, just like fucking Clintons and the rest of these motherfucking pedophiles.
All them motherfuckers. No,
pretty much everybody on Maxwell's list.
Trust me. If you run short on money, you tell me. I will make sure you're fed every fucking night. Who's this fucking clown?
No.
Now, if you gonna let anybody harbor a pedophile, you ain't part of MAGA.
No.
You damn sure ain't what MAGA stands for.
We ain't having none of that shit around here. No, it ain't fucking happening.
By the way, I've through a lot of research, not just by me, but by a whole bunch of other people as well. There is an extensive list of Republicans that have various sex charges against them. And we've played it on here. And now that I heard that and that part sparked my attention, we're going to show that list again coming up in an episode before too long.
It is not okay to harm or coerce a child into anything and sexually abuse them.
It's not okay to harbor people that do that shit either.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, all this is a pedophile fucking camp. And it's not happening. It is not happening. And American people need to stand the fuck up against this shit.
Fuck yeah.
Against our government, who thinks it's minor attraction. No, it's not minor attraction.
Ooh, look at this guy. Yeah.
It is fucking.
You see that shit?
Yeah, I know that shit. Yeah.
It is fucking.
The minor attraction.
It's fucking rape.
Yeah.
It's rape on children. It's rape on women, and this shit is not okay.
You guys just have the real question. It ain't that we want fucking drama or that we're the drag queens in our schools. Why the fuck them drag queens want to be in your school? You took God out of school, but you want to put fucking drag queens in school. Fuck every one of you Democrat pieces of shit.
There's a lot of Dems watching this.
Fuck a Democrat.
I'm gonna tell you,
fuck a Democrat.
These Dems. Let me just say this though. These Dems in here are very against pedophilia and grooming.
Well, maybe they are.
So
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm just telling you. There's a lot of people that you normally think the media wants to think is bad, but they're against fucking the pedophiles.
Well, I see a lot of fucking Dems now.
I checked, fuck Biden's a pedophile. His goddamn son calls him pedo Pete. So who the fuck you supporting, Democrats? Fuck all you little bitches.
Well, I do my best.
I got a right to say what the fuck I want.
You
State
have a right.
Farm standing here telling you if you're a Democrat, you on the wrong fucking side and you supporting pedophile. The goddamn predators is a pedophile. Fuck y'all.
We also got a lot of rhyme.
That's one of the reasons I don't have a lot of optimism that we're going to be able to have open lines of communications on wide basis. Hope I'm wrong.
knows. What happened to little Miss
Fuck a
Liz?
rhino too.
What happened to little fucking Miss Liz Cheney? Showed up your fucking ass too.
Yeah, that's
fucking
a goddamn rhino
slut,
too.
fucking
It's
skank.
just a message didn't get fucking sent. Lost by 40
Bitch,
points.
fucking McConnell, fuck you. The fucking
Democrat.
governor of fucking West Virginia, fuck you too.
The Democrats
You're
stand up
finding
for-
out, you listening
well.
to what? You're listening
You
to
got
what?
nothing but Democrat
true
judges and Democrat fucking
conservative
court people
motherfuckers
who
are.
ain't doing shit about
Well,
Maxine.
I
Her fucking list.
Here's the
I-
thing about Ghislaine Maxwell.
I know a lot of people on the left
She's
that are
the
against
o-
Ghislaine Maxwell.
She's the only one sitting in
Maybe they're on the
jail.
wrong goddamn side then.
But here's the thing: who testified against her?
Well, I'll tell you this: fuck both sides equally.
I agree with that too.
No, I
fuck both
won't
sides.
deny you that.
Stop fucking taking my goddamn money and giving it to somebody else.
Tax me,
Okay.
sending my
Stop
fucking
letting me
money.
have to.
All right. Again, this comes from Defender of Ants. The guy here in the front goes on to say, you know, he wants to tear down the entire government and some other things that, you know, you can go and check out for yourself. But I think we get the gist of an email that I got earlier. Okay, and again I shared this with some people earlier. The email basically said, "Doofus." No, I'm not going to share that. I'm not going to share that because I want to make sure that we try to keep lines of communication open. And if I share that email, people will take it the wrong way, and I don't want to do that. So again, everybody in here, Billy Bob, Sissy, old astronomer, Paw Patrol. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to just give you a brief rundown of who's who for those that are on that follow this. You know who these people are, and a few of these people were supposed to be on here with me tonight. You get your 1776 group, and most of them talk a little bit something like this. And then you've got the people that are opposing them, and some of them talk a little bit like this. It is, for the most part, it is the right it's the far right and some of the extreme right, all right, that are going at each other. Now, when we are in the middle and the focus shifts to far right against extreme right, that draws the middle over, and that pushes people into a place where they're not sure where they are as far as the political spectrum. We heard the guy say, you know, stick Liz Cheney and Mitch McConnell. These are prominent traditional Republicans that if these people had their way, they would have already been removed from Earth. With some of their, you know, and not by votes. Remember, they were running around yelling, "Hang my old buddy Mike Pence." So that shows us where we're at with the word patriot. There are some that, like maybe our last examples, that if you're MAGA, you're patriot. If you're not MAGA, you're not a patriot. It only really becomes a problem when sides are chosen. And those that watch the show know that I think we're getting closer and closer to the sides being chosen, you know, battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their mind, getting so much resistance from behind. You better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Peace. I love you all. We will be back as always. And again, If you haven't ever gone, check out Behind the Mirror. It's YouTube. It's Behind the Mirror. 3 words. BEHINDTHEMIOO or MIRROR. It's a chat board, and from there, you might get invited to a Discord conversation, and from there, you might find yourself learning a whole lot of things. Or you might go there and you go, man, this ain't for me, because there's strong personalities there. There are strong opinions there. It's like a microcosm of America. There's love there. There's hate there. There's anger there. There's hope there. There's despair there. There's joy there. There's tears there. There's laughter there. There's confrontation there. There's everything that you don't normally find in one site. And it's open. It's not you don't have to be this or that. I enjoy going there. So if you want to check it out, please do so. And if you hate it, let me know about it. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace. Namaste. Shalom. Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Blessings upon you. Peace, love, good vibrations. Whatever it may be, I hope we covered you all, because I love you and I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.